Hey there YouTube, this is SJM4306 back with another video. I just got home from work and look what was waiting for me. Batteries on fire. No, I'm joking. Yeah, actually batteries. So I was contacted by a company called Scigold, and apparently, I was unaware of this. They're developing, or well, not them specifically, but they are selling a newly type of developed battery, at least new to me. I think it's like nickel-zinc or something like that. Never heard of this before. I'm gonna have to do some research, but they said they wanted to send them to me, and these are in like AA form factor, I believe. So you can use them with, you know, devices like Game Boys and stuff, which I have tons of. And I noticed recently my eneloops aren't doing so great. They're not really holding a charge for as long as I remember, and those are very heavily used. And in particular, my Quest 3 controllers they just chew through AA batteries. So I definitely needed something new, something different. So they actually sent me, I believe, 3 things, and the model numbers are here. Let's just pop this open. And I believe 2 of them are batteries and then a charger for them. Because the chemistry is different, I'm kind of interested to know if the charger does anything special. Yeah, let's just make it aesthetic. This will 100% be the image. So, as you can see here, yeah, nickel-zinc, I got it right. Nickel-zinc / nickel metal hydride batteries. And this is the charger, model number CW404. And I don't know the price off the top of my head, so I'll put it down here. So it says LCD display, USB Type-C. So it's one of these chargers that actually like gives you statistics on the battery. And it does charge / discharge. So it is very shiny. Wow. It's going to kind of be hard to look at. It says dual tech charger, so obviously it does both your conventional nickel metal hydride batteries and your new nickel zinc ones. Also going to have to do like a discharge curve. They have different characteristics. You can see the nickel metal hydride is 1.2 volts. That's pretty much all the batteries I've ever used have that voltage. But the nickel zinc has 1.6 volt, so it gives you more oomph, and that's kind of the whole point of this. A lot of devices, even if you were to fully charge a nickel metal hydride, the voltage is going to only be like 2.4 volts for like a 3 volt device. So that is sort of already bordering on kind of low. So these give you a better fighting chance. You can withdraw more energy from the curve because the actual starting potential voltage is higher. So here, let's see, independent charging channels. It does 4 cells at a time. I'm guessing these are 4 packs of batteries. Advanced safety technology and automatic power off. There's a bunch of tiny text. 24-month limited warranty, so 2 years warranty. So they're standing behind their product. And let's just open this. And yeah, it is, well, there's a little instruction manual in the back. Does it have like charging rates and stuff? That's kind of what I'm interested in. How to use it. Yeah, I'm not seeing really like a technical information section. But yeah, it is one of these dual chargers, so it does the AAA as well as the AA. There are some clicky buttons, the LCD screen, and the branding Scigold. And this does... There you go. For some reason I thought it'd be on the top, but it's on the side. USB-C input. That'll be really nice. I can just use like a regular old power bank or just plug it straight into a phone charger to charge all my batteries. I only have one of those silly wall ones that only charges 2 batteries currently. It's like a Duracell. And it works. It's not great, and it's annoying because it ties up like an entire wall socket. And that's not great. It takes forever to charge batteries too. So I'm hoping these can do some kind of quick charge because that would be nice. And we have some speed holes on the back here for cooling. So yeah, here it says the charging current, 1500 milliamps times 4 max, 200 milliamps times 4, that's the mini? It says mini. I think they mean min. And 500 milliamps is the default charging current per cell. So interestingly enough, and it says compatible with nickel zinc and nickel metal hydride, both AA and AAA. Operating temperatures 0 to 40 C, etc., etc., etc. Yeah, we have some screws. We're gonna have to open this later, though. Later, I want to actually use this and test it. So yeah, like I said, interesting. I want to say the nickel metal hydrides. I mean, this isn't really quite a fair competition. The cells feel heavier, like the 4-pack of these in my hands feel heavier slightly than I guess the equivalent quantity of nickel-zinc batteries. So that is interesting. So these are maybe a little bit denser and these are a little bit lighter. Make good things, infinite cycles. Sorry, there you go. I guess that's their saying, their motto. High technology, high security. I wonder what the self-discharge on these are. Hopefully it says high discharge, high capacity, high charge rate. That'll be cool. And high cycle, up to 1,000 recharges, both of these say. So yeah, they don't really give you technical information. I like technical things, so it would have been cool to see like maybe a discharge curve or something. And also, the most important thing, well, second to capacity of the battery, is what is the self-discharge? Because if they are going to, lose their charge over time just by sitting on a shelf, that's kind of important for certain applications. Like if I were to use these for like remote sensors for like weather or something. So yeah, oh, interesting. They have custom formed like plastic inserts to hold the batteries apart. That is interesting. So this could have been made much smaller, but obviously they're going for like an aesthetic thing. That is very nice. I do like the giant battery that's like embossed. Well, it's not embossed. It's floating up out of the cardboard. But aesthetically, that looks really nice. And just pop these out, I guess, using... Yeah, maybe they could have... You kind of have to push on the plastic to get a finger under them. Yeah, they're held in very well. So that part is good. They're not going anywhere. And yeah, I can drag out a scale in a second, see exactly what each cell weighs. But yeah, they're very shiny. They look very nice. The other batteries are likewise silver, but this time blue. So they're color coding these, and I can appreciate that. So we have both sets of batteries, and yeah, this absolutely says 1.6 volts. It's very shiny. And 1.2. I don't know if they came pre-charged. Let me grab a multimeter / scale / whatever else I need to. Let's take these over to scale because I actually sitting on my shelf and I'd rather not pull it out. Give me 1 sec. Okay, pardon the mess, but it's on. Let's try the nickel metal hydride first. Just tear this. Tear, please. There we go. 0. Put this on. It is 30 grams, spot on. We are in grams, right? Are we in grams? I think we're in grams. Because I think there's a light if it's in ounce mode. So, take that off, put on the nickel-zinc one now. And 23, so absolutely, the nickel-zinc ones are slightly lighter than the nickel-metal hydrides. So, yeah, that'll shut off on its own. Let's grab a multimeter and test the voltages. Okay, so first we are going to test the nickel-metal hydride. So it looks like these did come fully charged. This is 1.28, so yeah, nominal voltage 1.2, but obviously with no load it's going to be a little bit higher. And this guy should be somewhere around 1.6. I'm going to guess it's like 1.7-ish. Bam! 1.709. So yeah, these absolutely do come charged, and at the very least, they, in terms of like self-discharge, I don't know how long ago these were plucked off the shelf, so to speak, but they've held their charge till now. So I guess all that is doing is, I probably have to read the manual. I want to know if, can this charger charge 2 different chemistry batteries at once? Can I put like 2 nickel metal hydrides and 2 nickel zincs? Because that would be interesting. But yeah, let me actually use these batteries, I guess. Yeah, I'm probably just gonna discharge them in something that's like relatively high drain, see what the average runtime is, because I know for like eneloops how long they last in like my various devices, because I've used them for years. So then I can get a baseline comparison to both new nickel metal hydrides and nickel zinc batteries. So, okay, it's been about a month. Apologies to Scigold, this is taking quite a bit longer than I'd hoped. And reviewing battery kind of stuff kind of does take a while, because you have to like discharge and charge the battery a couple times to really get a sense of how they behave in like real world use. And so here's basically my use case. I use these mini disc recorders, like still quite a bit. I'm like one of the only people who does still. I refuse to give up mini discs. It's such a cool technology. Anyway, for playback, it's okay to use these like cheaper, Duracell batteries or like primary batteries, but recording on them consumes like quite a bit more power. And a lot of times I'll stick like I had these eneloops and this Duracell for like years and years, and I've noticed I could burn like one disc and then already the battery would be like almost fully depleted. And I think these batteries are like, they're already probably well over like 6 or 7 years old. So they're not really holding the charge that they used to be able to. For playback, that's not that much of a problem. These mini disc recorders are like pretty efficient in playback. They'll get like 30, 50 hours in playback, but it's the recording that really eats up batteries for me. And a lot of them, some of them, you can plug in a DC charging. There's like a port here. For this model in particular, though, if you plug in USB to record with a computer, it blocks the AC port. So this specifically, it's sort of unfortunate that it won't let you charge the device while you're recording, which is kind of annoying. It forces you to use gum sticks. So this is not really, maybe I'll pull that to the side. That's not really a great example. But a lot of other units that I have will allow you to record while you have a battery inserted or the AC adapter. But it's a pain in the butt, honestly, to dig out the adapter. It's like a weird non-standard 3-volt adapter. So I like using these battery cars. And a specific use case of mine is nickel metal hydrides are only 1.2 volts. So even though the battery has a lot of power left, it sinks pretty fast. And once you start recording with these, they'll give you like the low battery indicator, even though there seems to be like a ton of the battery life left. It's just that it's pulling so much current that the voltage drops too fast. So that's where this specific battery, which is, was it a zinc, nickel zinc, I think is, yeah, there you go, nickel zinc battery. That's where that comes in. These have a higher nominal voltage. And so when I first read that, I was like, this might actually be perfect for mini disc, because it can deliver more power because the voltage is higher for longer, basically. And so that's what I've been using them for. And during recording, like I've noticed, like I'm able to record like 4 or 5 discs just off of one charge of the battery. Whereas like if I use a nickel metal hydride or an alkaline, I'm lucky to maybe get like 2 discs, maybe 3. So like I get effectively double the amount of like high current runtime off of nickel zinc batteries. So that's awesome. I use this player a lot as sort of, it's like an entry level player, but my favorite part is it takes a AA directly in the battery bay door. And in playback mode, it's ridiculous. If I use one of these nickel zinc batteries, I haven't been able to like run it below half. And I've listened to this guy for like probably close to like 20, 30 hours already. Just running off of nickel zinc. So that is definitely the perfect use case for that. As you can see, I 3D printed these little cases that hold the batteries, and they're fantastic. I love these little cases. They're print in place, and they hold 4 batteries each, which is perfect for if you get 1 pack of these batteries, you get 4 batteries. So these are ideal for them. As you can see, I'm nickel metal hydride works fine for like lower drain kind of things that the voltage doesn't matter that much. But for mini discs in particular, because they use only 1 battery, they use a boost converter inside, and that you trade a ton of current for to boost that voltage up internally so that the mini disc player can run properly, basically. So I think for mini disc from now on, I'm permanently moving over to nickel zinc batteries because they just have that higher voltage and like the longer runtime at a higher current before the battery starts dropping. So as you can see here, I've used way more of these nickel zincs than the nickel metal hydrides. Yeah, the self-discharge on these, I can't properly really measure that. I have one of these inserted into a wireless mouse that I have, and I just leave the mouse on now. These nickel metal hydrides that are quite old and tired, if I do that, I've noticed that like it gives me like a week before the mouse gives me a low battery indicator. So I think these are just like self-discharging now at kind of a decently high rate. So I'm probably just gonna. I think I'm gonna totally move to nickel zinc batteries because I think it is more useful having that higher voltage. Yeah, and even though maybe you get slightly less capacity, I mean these are rated in milliwatt hours, which is quite interesting. I'm usually used to seeing batteries in. Let's see if this one has it. Yeah, in milliamp hours. So I think they're probably is, so there's definitely like a capacity difference between these two if this were a new battery, but yeah, I think it's a useful trade-off. Having the higher nominal voltage means you can have more time to extract more energy, because these like nickel metal hydrides, because that voltage is so low, your battery indicator on your device will say it's low before you've even extracted most of the energy out of the battery. So you end up just recharging these batteries more times than you really should need to. So yeah, the charger. So I love the batteries. I think they're like 20-ish bucks for 4 batteries, which is maybe a little bit pricey, but I mean they're solid. I've been able to run many recordable discs, more than I expected, honestly. This charger, I believe you can buy it in a bundle or separately. I don't think this was particularly expensive. I have some issues with this charger, and I don't know if it's mine specifically. Sometimes if I give it a tap, it'll go out. So I think maybe there's something loose, like maybe the charge port or something. So as long as I don't touch it though, and I just insert the battery and that's it, then it'll seemingly work. I just have like my eneloop here. It's like hot swappable. As soon as you insert a battery, it'll detect it, and it detects the type, and it'll start charging. I do like this. Looks really cool. The black background and the green, it sort of looks matrixy. There is like a built-in self-discharge mode that'll fully drain the batteries, measure the capacity, and then fully charge them, and then measure the charge capacity as well. When I tested these, I can put in a screenshot right now. But yeah, when I tested these batteries, they were coming up as like significantly less than the rated capacity on the battery. And I think that's just, they're very old, they're very tired. I've used the heck out of these things. These are supposed to be rated at like 1900 milliamp hours, and I think I was like measuring like 400 milliamp hours. So clearly these are, I think I'm going to have to put these out to pasture. But yeah. Don't know how super accurate this charger specifically is. Just insert one of the batteries here. I do like, if I can get this open, it auto detects the different types of batteries, and you can even mix and match. So, for example, I have a nickel metal hydride and a nickel zinc insert at the same time, and the arrow points to which battery it's displaying because it only can display the info for one battery at a time, and it just cycles through them. So here we can see both batteries are nearly full. And these I charged up when I first got them and just sort of left them in the case, and it's been about a month. So I don't think they pretty much not discharged at all, just sitting on a shelf, it looks like. So these are nearly full. And yeah, you can see here it correctly detected this one as a nickel zinc, and then this one is a nickel metal hydride. The setting menu is maybe a little bit unintuitive, but it just took me about like a couple seconds of first using it to learn how to actually change the settings. If you press and hold, you can change which battery setting you want to adjust. And you can, I mean, there's no batteries inserted, so there's no point in adjusting those, but you can also adjust all battery settings if you have all of the same battery type inserted. But once you go in here, this is basically the menu. First, it selects which mode. So charging mode, eco, which I think is like the, what they're saying is like the discharge and then charge mode. Like to cycle the battery, and then you can go into settings as well. If you click that button, again, the mode button, it'll go in, and now I can adjust, specifically what charge current I want. And I can go all the way up to, 1.5 amps, which is actually quite high. I probably wouldn't for these batteries just to make them last longer. And you can go all the way down to 200 milliamps in 100 milliamp increments. So there's that. I usually just leave it on 500. So it's sort of it doesn't take forever to charge, but also it doesn't super stress the battery out. And if I press and hold, then it goes back, and now you can see I'm charging at the 500 milliamp mark. Yeah, I think this charger works perfectly fine. I do appreciate it's on USB, so I can even use a battery, like a USB battery bank, to charge this in the field, which is awesome. I think maybe the build quality is a little bit, plastic's like a little bit slightly flimsy, and there's something up internally, I think, with like the connection or something. So sometimes if I hit this, it'll stop working kind of correctly. So maybe the build quality on the charger specifically, you need to look at that. It also is quite hard to get batteries out. You have to kind of like swivel, especially if you have batteries right next to each other. It's actually quite hard to remove them. So I don't know what they could do to fix that on the design of the charger. Maybe add like a spring, like some mechanisms for battery chargers will make the plastic longer and have like a spring that you can pull on your thumb to disengage the tension on the battery. They do have slots so you can put in AAA batteries, though, so this will work for both double and AAA, which is quite nice. So you can use one charger for like all your batteries. And I believe they also have a model that does LiPo batteries, because they also sell lithium, like 18650 batteries. But that's a little bit more expensive and sort of outside the range of what I need for this. If I'm using these batteries for mini disc recorders, I'm pretty much only going to ever be charging AA batteries. I kind of did want to see, there are 4 screws here. I want to see what the inside of this looks like and see how the soldering is, because I have a feeling that there might be a cold solder joint or something. That might be why if I bang this, sometimes it'll stop working temporarily. And I'll have to bang it again to get it to work. So let me grab a screwdriver. I really want to see what the inside of this looks like. Okay, so all the screws are out. I'm guessing there might be clips. Yeah, there's just some light clips around the side, just like one on each side. And that was pretty easy to open. There is some flux. I mean, some of this is going to be hand soldered, like all the through-hole stuff. The rest is going to be reflowed. So you don't see flux around like the surface mount components, only these. The flux is probably no clean, so it's probably fine functionally, but it does look sort of not so great on black silk screen. It's like super obvious. Yeah, I mean, if I'm looking at this, I don't see any questionable solder joints, at least yet. Everything looks reasonable. Yeah. Just going through this, though, we could see some small value, but like large package size like shunt resistors, and this is what it's using to measure the current that's flowing into the battery. So clearly, it's doing some measurement. There are transistors, looks like, for each battery to like enable it and disable it in software. Interestingly enough, there's like a data connector thing here. plus 5 volts ground, and then clock and data. So I'm guessing like I squared C maybe. That's quite interesting. We have the terminals, which are through hole, and like tons of solder connections on them. So they should be physically pretty strong. We have the main chip here, and oh god, it's labeled Vinca. There you go. VK1C21A. Never heard of that brand. It's obviously that's like some sort of microcontroller. And we have another chip. I might have to read this off for you guys. They did not scrub the chip markings off. It's just really hard to see. FMD F761E145. Yeah, I don't know. It's really hard to see. I would have to get this under a microscope to actually see what it is. But yeah, we have another like serial connection as well, labeled very similarly to the other one. So I'm guessing this connector and this one, it's just all on a bus. Because yeah, this is 5 volts ground clock data. So I'm guessing everything is I2C on this. And we have some chunkier caps next to this chip. So I wonder if that's like an LCD driver or something, because the backlight is right here for the LCD, but no, it looks like the LCD is going directly to pins on this microcontroller. So that I think is directly driven there. What could that be doing? I think we're gonna have to actually get this board out. Hopefully we can. Okay, I think we can just shimmy the contacts out. Nothing needs to be desoldered, so that's good. And oh, that's interesting. So it has like the backlight on a separate board, and it's just sort of very long leads leading up to it. There's some foam behind there just to keep pressure between the backlight and the glass is just slid over and soldered straight through, also with very long leads. The USB-C connector is on its own kind of standoff. And it just goes through and is soldered there. That's interesting. These are very tall buttons. Wow. To get the actual outside button to press all the way down to the tact switch on the board, they needed very long stems. I don't know what that chip specifically is or is doing. I can see obviously there's some resistors connecting it to this guy here. Maybe it's for like a current measurement or something, like an external DAC. It could be, or I guess it would be an ADC, not a DAC. Like a serial one. Oh, wow, we have a bunch more stuff. We have another 2 chips on here, a FMD, you can read the part number off yourself there, and a bunch of switching regulators, 1 per each battery, it looks like. There's inductor, 2 little chips, what appears to be a transistor, maybe a dual transistor package, and then the switching regulator chip here. And it's just copy and pasted, repeated for each battery there. And yeah, these are pretty chunky ceramic caps here. I have no idea why this would have stopped working when I, hit it. All the soldering looks fine, so I have no idea. Might be like something, the soldering in there on the USB. Because this is run straight off the USB, if any connection issues happen between the USB and the board, it'll brown out, obviously. Yeah, so clearly this is a serial device. This is a serial device. They're probably all on the same I2C bus. I would probably guess that this is for like something measurement related. There's a ton of passive components around it. This chip is, let's see, a B324A. I think that's a 324. That's like a quad op amp or something like that. Maybe a quad comparator chip. So that's probably for like analog kind of stuff, like preconditioning sensing. So that probably is directly interfacing with like the sense current resistors, and then probably that then conditions the signal and then is read by this chip, and then that puts data onto the bus that the main microcontroller can read. So yeah, this is actually fairly complex. I was assuming it would be much simpler inside, but I guess because it has to be able to interface with multiple battery types of different voltages, I guess it has to be kind of more complex. The molding is like decently done inside for, you know, integrating the batteries and everything into the case. Yeah. I'm just going to insert this, though, before anything goes wrong. Hopefully this goes in easily. Okay, it just sort of snapped into place. And I'm just going to stick this back on. There is like some ventilation holes that they put up near here, which is interesting. I would assume that this part would get hotter, and it should probably have some ventilation down there instead of up near the microcontroller. That probably consumes like nothing. So, but it is what it is. There is some extra molding to support that USB connector at least. And it should just kind of snap, and you can put the screws back in, and that's it. So this is actually kind of serviceable. So if something does happen with this, conceivably I could fix it. So that's at least good. I've rambled on for long enough. Once again, I'd like to thank Scigold for sending me in 2 sets of their batteries and their USB charger. This will definitely come to good use. I also plan on, I'll probably end up using the nickel metal hydrides in my Quest controllers. I've noticed that they tend to go through batteries, my Quest 3 controllers, a lot faster than, for some reason, than my Quest 2 controllers. Quest 2 controllers, I like left the same alkaline batteries in there for like a year, and like then after a full year of use, I got low battery. These, it seems to be like once a month I have to put new batteries in, so definitely stick some of these nickel metal hydrides in there and see how that fares. This is probably going to have to be a longer term kind of thing, because it's kind of hard to test like how well batteries last if you only have a month to test them. But yeah, so far I'm actually very happy with like the nickel-zinc ones because they give me much longer, like noticeably longer runtime on high drain applications like mini disc recorders. So I'm very happy with that. That'll make it so that I can burn more discs basically and have less downtime recharging batteries. And especially since most of my eneloops and other rechargeable batteries are getting on in age, I definitely needed replacement. So once again, huge thanks to Scigold for sending these guys in for review. And if you guys are interested, I will have links down below to their website. They have a bunch of different batteries. They have AA, AAAs, LiPos. They have chargers for all of them as well. And their prices are probably about what you would pay for like brand name, like eneloop kind of stuff. Probably on par with them, so they're not like super cheap, but their stuff seems to be made pretty well. Like the batteries themselves they have some heft to them. They don't feel like they're cheap. The only thing is this charger feels maybe a little bit cheap, and maybe there's some QC issue or something. Like when I bang this, it stops working. I just banged it again and then started working again, so I'm just not going to bang this on a surface or anything, and hopefully that's fine. Yeah, I do appreciate the functionality that you get for like the price of what you're paying for these products. So anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.